Hello. My project's called Bayesic, and it's a way to make algorithmic music using Bayesian networks. And because it's based on command line interaction, I opened the code right here, and I'll be walking us through exactly how it works. Basically what one does is one specifies a number of parent and descendant nodes to the program. One specifies conditional probabilities on binary states for the parents of each descendant node, and specifies unconditional probabilities for those nodes that have no parents. And then for a specified number of times, it samples from the Bayesian network. And each sample, which is just an array of values like here, where each node has its own value, it appends a certain note to a stream. The frequencies of the notes appended for those nodes that have no parents are specified by the user. If it is a 0, no node is appended. If it is a 1, for a node that has no parent, the frequency specified by the user for that node is the frequency of the node appended. If a node that has parents is a 1, what happens is that we average the frequencies of its parents weighted by a specific value. And that weight is determined by the value that the parents take on. If the parent has a 0 value, then in the average it will have less significance. Another thing to note is that the notes get progressively softer as they grow, as the Bayesian network grows further from those nodes that have no parents. So basically, here, for simplicity, the Bayesian network is sorted into tiers, and there are a maximum of 4 tiers, because otherwise the music gets a bit, it becomes intricate, but not as pleasant to listen to, necessarily. And each node has only 2 parents, again for simplicity reasons, to make it easier for the user to enter conditional probabilities. And so if the node that is being crafted a note for is further from those parents, from those nodes that have no parents, if it is at a higher tier, then it will have less volume. And in between each sample that is processed this way, we append a rest. Now, let's see it in action. So you run it. That's my name. And that's Lisa's name, specifying unconditional probabilities for those nodes that have no parents now. And let's say there's another friend of ours, Patrick. All the parents have been specified. Now for the second tier, we can only get parents from the tiers that are above. So we have, say, a friend Jane, and her parents are Laura and Lisa. If we want another node, we can choose Patrick. Oh, sorry. Patrick's right there. Harriet. And she depends only on Patrick. And that's it. And then we can go on, add more people. But for now, we can stop. And now we have to enter some conditional probabilities. I'm entering them at random, but one could choose more significant things. And now we look at the parent node, Lara. Well, perhaps a frequency of 400 Hz would be interesting. And then for Lisa, 300. Patrick, maybe 500. Let's go through the Bayesian network maybe 30 times. And now I should have in that folder where I ran this, a MIDI file. There we go. And I can play this MIDI file on a digital audio workstation. These are just all the other trials that I've made. Which is a very involved one. Another one sounded like this. Which is slightly more pleasant than this one. So it really depends on the frequencies that you choose and the probabilities that you give, but I think it's quite cool how it turns out. And here you have some other trial. And this one. So there's usually this kind of little trickling sound, which is why I called it waterfalls initially. But that is really how it works. You specify some conditional probabilities and unconditional ones. The program samples for you and then appends to a stream the notes that are associated with each node, which also change according to the states of the node's parents. That's it. Thank you for watching.